I mean, I would drop frames constantly.
Okay.
I was running like 30% drop frames at 500 kbps with CenturyLink.
Sorry, I didn't mean with CenturyLink. I meant in OBS, variable bitrate versus continuous bitrate.
Wait, I don't think I've seen that setting before. Where is that?
CBR versus VBR. When I started, you said to do continuous, which made sense to me because you don't really care about the amount of space you're taking up, and you just want to stay under that 3500 cap. But when I'm like recording Elite Dangerous and stuff races, I've switched to variable so that it doesn't like record 10. I usually have it at like 10 megabits per second. When I'm just sitting at a dock or something, I don't want it to be using all of that. And they've got several different algorithms. There's continuous and variable and a few other types of bit rates.
I think I gave you those recommendations when they were going to be as classic, which didn't let you specify something with CBR. So take a look.
I see.
So I actually don't know a lot about VBR, but I'll start Googling it.
I mean, you don't have to. I was just wondering. It might also, depending upon whether it makes your quality suffer a lot or not, it could save you space on recordings.
Yeah, it's got rate control, right?
Yeah, that was it. Oh boy.
Darkstar says you can't hear me.
Shoot. I will check that out. Hey Nadavan, hey Darkstar, hey Sixgun. I'm gonna I will fix a Marstead after I die to the skeleton lords.
Try this boss fight.
I'm excited we got to a new boss fight already. We can spend an entire session on it. Oh gosh. No, I had a life gem up. There we are. Life gem. Okay, I'm very confused about what's going on here, because things are dying way too fast. I wonder if it's a multi-phase fight. Yeah, I can buy Skeleton Rave. Let's sneak around behind here and roll through. Whoa. Another life gem. Okay, where's the big one? There's the big one.
I'll tell you about it after this is over, but there's a Twitch blog that strongly advises against using VBR and sticking with CBR, and it makes sense.
Oh no, there's the stupid wheel guys again. Why?
Bone wheels, everybody's favorite. Spooky.
No! Was that the actual health bar?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I only had one Estus flask.
Right. No, I mean, I can do it, but first try would have been so cool. Okay, let me see what's wrong with Marstead. So I can hear him. You should be on desktop audio. And I can turn up Discord. Is anybody else having a problem hearing? I guess I can turn on the stream and listen to it. Yeah. Is anybody else having a...
To my knowledge, nothing should have changed, but maybe it's based on music
Oh,
in game.
he said could barely hear Marstead, so I can just turn you up,
Yeah.
and that should be fine. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you weren't coming through at all. Dang. And it was a long way back to those guys. I didn't even remember. Oh, okay. Fuxicles.
Don't use VBR because during lulls in the action, like pause games, hero selection, talking heads, VBR drops the bitrate really significantly because it doesn't need it, which
Right.
is fine. But the problem with the way Twitch works is that it gets really upset when it then cranks back up suddenly into an action scene, and it
Oh.
causes people's connections to lull. So
Okay. So it's fine for recording, but not specifically for Twitch because...
probably for local recording, yeah.
Okay. Dang.
There's obviously some wasted bitrate in there, but you're going the wrong way. You're going back towards the, or at least you were a second ago, and you maybe just fixed it.
Yeah, I fixed it because I was like, oh, I already did that one. Did I go across this big bridge? I can't even remember where I went now. I think so.
You can open that door. There's a bonfire in there too.
Oh, sweet. It's locked. Because sadness. Bling.
I want to use a heal miracle.
Yep. Sometimes I remember that. Not usually, though. Have you had any recent issues with Comcast? I remember the ones like a month ago, but...
Since converting to business, I've had a couple. The maintenance guy explained one of them is them replacing a power supply, and just the day that I upgraded, which at least I had an answer. And there was a hailstorm in Los Alamos Monday that brought it down for 5 minutes.
5 minutes for a hailstorm is pretty understandable. Power supply is
Yeah.
kind of dumb.
Well, I assume it's the hailstorm. That time I called Comcast Business and got my first stupid person on the phone. It was like, how do you know that it's down? I'm like, well, I was doing a stream. Like, oh, well, if you're using a lot of bandwidth, that can sometimes cause issues to happen. Like, what do you...
Shut the fuck up. This is what I pay for.
That's not how any of this works. So I just hung up on her at that point. It wasn't worth it.
Sometimes if you buy food at the grocery store, they run out. Right. That's a bad thing. They're not supposed to do that.
Were you wanting to two-hand your hammer still since you haven't upgraded the sickle yet?
Probably. But the hammer and sickle is so fun. I think two-handing is the way to go for now. I did, if I recall, get at least one Titanite shard. That's the smallest one, right? Shard?
Yeah.
During my last play session. So if I get like a few more of them, I should be able to upgrade it to the point where I can then use the bigger things, which would be exciting. So, was there anything I missed about that boss? It just seemed to be kill the big guys, kill the small guys. It's hard because there are a lot of them.
As you kill bosses, different ads spawn.
Okay. Oh, that's why the
one particular
bone rollers came in at the end. I see.
Right. So there's 3 main enemies. I think that all of the skeletons count for the boss health bar.
Yeah, it even seemed like the little ones did too. Because I killed the 3 big ones.
Out which one kills what.
Oh, I see what you mean. I was close enough. I hope I don't need to do that. Try torch and then attacking. I thought I... Maybe there was another way out.
There's another way into that room. It's worth getting back there. There's an Estus Flask shard in that right next to that gate. It's also a shortcut.
Sweet. Hey, Serp. How's it going? I already did that one. Doop beep boom, boop beep boom, boop beep boom, beep boom. What about this way? This way is the new way. Frack. I thought that was a safe corner. It was not a safe corner. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. What are you playing on Roll20? Or maybe you should pay attention to your game. That is generally true in Dark Souls, not Ven. Especially not random butterflies that shit poison on you. Those aren't safe. Oh, that's bad. I need to figure out a replacement for my monitor cable.
Yeah.
So I've got an HDMI monitor cable for my main monitor. It's very nice. But the way that my video card is slotted, the HDMI cable hits the side of the slot, if that makes sense. And so it doesn't go all the way in. And because of that, it's a loose connection. And because of that, it flakes out at random times, which can be bad.
Do you have a DVI port on it?
I don't think so. I just liked HDMI better because I had bad experiences with DVI in the past because of all the different formats, and I didn't understand at the time that there were 3 like different DVI formats. So I bought a DVI-B cable for a DVI-A connection, and it didn't work. I guess I could figure it out now that I know there are different things and get the right one. That guy just
Chaos.
put his head on. Good day, Chaos. That goes to the gate. Don't want to do that.
I'm trying to read how to say hello in Russian, and it's brutal. SZDRAV STVUYTE.
Can't you just say "До свидания"? Which, if I recall, is good morning. But yeah, Russian is not very similar to English. Okay, that's not the right way. What about here? Let's not get cursed. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that Puzzled Kiwi doesn't ever watch me play Dark Souls. She would just be laughing at me for getting lost constantly.
Yeah. I guess it's just Privyet. Chaos.
Privyet.
Google failed me and gave me like the most formal possible way to say hello. It's like greetings in Russian, which is much more complicated. Gotcha. Yeah, I listened to Google pronounce the formal one, and I'm not going to try it.
Not worth it.
Privyet, I can say. What does Zarya say when she gets her ult? Like that's the most Russian I hear.
Does she speak in Russian? I thought a lot of her stuff was just Russian accent.
It depends on if you're playing her or if she's on the enemy team. Enemy team is always in their native language.
Oh,
Your
okay.
team is always in English.
I didn't know that. That's a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Oh no, I'm out of heal miracles. That are disappointing. Okay. Let's try this again. To burn a humanity or not?
I would do it.
Probably. I've got 15.
You always put down a summon sign to get back there.
Oh, that's true. I'll do that if I die this time.
She says fire at will in Russian. That makes sense. Wait. That's right. There you go. Play it in Russian.
Turning on the Russian language option. I mean, I could. There aren't that many things that I actually need to know.
You just need to know the images.
Right.
I was planning to do part of the Brosted stream as speedrunning the Japanese version of Dark Souls 1. And it's fairly easy.
If only I had like an AoE attack.
Invest in intelligence and faith. Oh man, you're playing with fire going to that bone wheel over there.
I got him.
You did. I don't know if you deserve to.
I totally deserve to. I'm a brave soldier of the People's Army, conquering the evil capitalist skeletons. Oh, why are there so many of them?
Skeleton
Yes.
lords. The nobility. Good job. Probably should have been a first try if you had Mars this fast.
Yeah, or paid closer attention, took more care.
Well done.
That was fun. That was fast. Is that an easy boss, or does my build just work well because I one-shot everything?
What's the easiest boss depending on how you deal with it?
I got many alluring skulls. Is there anything near here, or should I probably hearth?
There's almost certainly a bonfire after every boss, starting with this game.
Oh, okay. Because easy mode. Why do I not see one then? Oh, maybe if I go here. Hope. Don't give up, skeleton. Let me out of here.
If you make it to where you see another enemy, then I would probably
Fine work by
use a
you.
homeward bone, but
I did it.
vast majority of the time.
I think, Nadavan, that the skeletons are what are left of people after they buy into the capitalist system and their flesh is eaten away by the evil.
Yeah, right? They're the nobility, skeleton lords, not skeleton...
Right, but I didn't just kill the skeleton lords.
Proletariats.
I killed the skeleton minions as well.
You're freeing them from the...
Freeing them from their shackles and slavery.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They're now using their alluring skulls for the betterment of the motherland. I think Chaos Factor should be made Commissar today if you have to decide life or death with an NPC.
Oh, definitely. For that greeting. Visions of ladder, but praise the sun. Hurrah for silence. I think you mean skeleton commissars.
Hurrah for skeleton, and then skeleton.
Hurrah for chest. Oh, right. Because this game. Well, speak of the devil.
You just skipped the bonfire, by the way.
Oh.
This is the NPC who potentially sells infinite type, like regular type match shards.
Yep. Chest ahead, correct, Nadavan. No, Nadavan, no. Why? Titanite shard. How many would I like? All of them, please. Burning bonfire. Bonfire aesthetic looks like it's a very expensive consumable.
This is the thing that puts you in the New Game Plus in that area and respawns all the bosses.
Okay. But if I use it, it's gone.
That's
or not.
correct.
Okay. So that's very expensive. Although I guess if I kill the boss, it would pay for itself. Soul appeased.
I would exhaust her dialogue. She's an NPC that will move back to Majula if you talk to her enough.
Okay. I will go get the bonfire first. I was scared to cross the poison. And I didn't see that there was a bonfire over there because I'm blind. Okay, let's go talk to her and then decide whether or not she should be spared. Chaos Factor, are you okay with being Commissar? Try not to roll through poison. What? That's weird.
Yeah, it's...
Is that like a bug or
something?
something?
Sticks to your body. No, it's internal. The more poison that's on your body causes the buildup to increase. So
that's cool. So if only my legs touch it, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
And then it drains off. Oh my gosh, I don't know that I've ever seen a game do poison like it's more like acid, sure, but that well before. That's amazing. That makes me so happy.
You're poisoned right now, so you might want to go to the bonfire to remove it so you don't die while you're talking to this NPC.
I mean, sure, that could be a thing that we maybe do.
So you'll have to decide whether this NPC lives or dies Chaos based on whether they
What they say.
The ideals.
No interest.
Oops, I didn't mean to click that.
I'll provide. These stones may look all the same, but to the trained eye, each is unique. Some of them are used to smith weapons and armor, and some unique stones provide special benefits. Some of them are extremely rare and should be used with great thrift. None of the differences are easily spotted, but I've learned quite a lot, really. Drang Lake. How is it that I ended up here? It's funny. I can't seem to remember. I've searched every nook and cranny here. I suppose it's time to move on. Perhaps we'll meet again, if we live that long. I've searched every nook.
So she's repeating her dialogue and says it's time to move on.
Perhaps we'll meet.
Does that mean she's probably on her way back to Majula?
Yeah, I would go to Majula and upgrade your sickle while you've got all that stuff.
Woohoo. Oh my gosh, the poison bill that makes me so happy.
What are your thoughts on whether she should live?
I mean, so she is a trader, and she sells things. So that's immediately like a strike against her. She doesn't seem to be very rich, like she's in peasant's clothes though. And she's not charging exorbitant prices, like she's just doing it to survive. So I mean, maybe that's okay? Like she clearly isn't in any sort of fine clothes. She's just got like, I don't know, a woolen skirt on or something. And she is providing good services for the motherland, searching out these rare stones.
Speak up if you need anything at all right? These stones may look. Some of them are used to smith. Some of them are extremely. None of the differences.
And she did move back to our little commune, so that's maybe a plus.
No interest.
Are there NPCs? There are NPCs that won't move back to the commune, I assume.
That's right, but you get a pretty active town in this game. Eventually. She might sell infinite Titanite shards now, I'm not sure. I think she does eventually.
It's the shuttle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's now at +5. I need one more large Titanite shard to upgrade it.
The NPC at Macduff's bonfire sells infinite large Titanite shards since you still have some souls remaining.
Sweet. And he was acceptable.
People these days.
That was the Lost Bastille, Macduff's workshop. Sweet.
Yep. Trying to solve a difficult problem with the bits acceptable use policy, where I technically can't convert bits to seer points. Did you see this at all?
Yeah, I've read about it. I guess I had an off top or a sideways question to that, but what are you thinking?
I'm trying to come up with a system whereby you can discount votes based on thresholds of bits purchased. The idea being that that's effectively the same thing as getting SP. It's just inverted, and it technically complies because the bit accessible use policy says that bits can be used to further a community goal, in this case the community goal being reducing the cost to vote for everyone, right? And it doesn't involve actually dispersing a virtual currency, but it's challenging to get it to be exactly equal to just converting it directly to SP.
Why don't you make my solution, and this might not work, would be to make a new column next to votes that shows like discount or
Chaos, it's going to be mathematically identical to earning seer points for donations, so it's not going to change anything. So
can't you just say that those points are for the community? It's for the community to decide on the game.
Yeah, I would do that if not for the very explicit statement in the accessible use policy that they cannot be exchanged for virtual currencies under any circumstances.
Oh, I see. So you... Oh.
How? So Chaos, if you discount a 50 SP game by 1, so reduce it to 49 SP, if you think about that, all that really does is it gives you one free vote for every 50 votes, right? So after you vote for it 50 times, you've essentially been given a free 50 steer points. And that gets complicated given how many points you discount it by, how many votes it actually needs to win, right? Because if you then vote for it, 100 times and it wins, it's only like you got 100 SP. But there is some sort of average equivalency you can assume.
So I was going to try and do an end run around all the math and say, make another column that shows discounts from winning. So that means that if you spend the equivalent of 1 bit vote on this game, it provides a discount to the amount it needs to win by X amount. So essentially, you're just creating another vote, but since you're putting it in a different column and calling it something different, it is different. And instead of a positive vote, it's a negative vote to everything else. If that makes sense. Like
it does. The problem then is getting it to scale right, because
no.
benefit of reducing. Go ahead.
I'm not talking about scaling or discounts. I'm talking about you have a column where, say, you have 100 votes for a game, and the other column from bits, and it says -10. And what that means is that game requires 10 fewer votes to win, which means it essentially has 110 votes. But I'm not calling it votes. I'm calling it a discount that it needs to win. So if there's another game that has 105 flat, the game with the discount wins.
Yeah, that's some.
It's mathematically simple, but like
Hollywood accounting. That's what I need, is like a Cayman Islands type situation.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly the same thing. I think the problem with that is it'll make, if you look at that, then the voting spreadsheet's way more complicated than it just being discounted. Yeah, it's absurd, because they say in the same breath that bits have no value and they're not actually a currency, and yet they, compensate you directly based on how many bits you get.
So
cash.
Why do you want people to use bits instead of PayPal?
It affects the revenue. Sorry, let me use my words here. Twitch will only disperse revenue to you when you reach certain thresholds. They won't just disperse it to you every month. You have to have like $100 in pending revenue for them to cut a check to you.
Okay.
So that's helpful.
Not really if they're taking a 50% cut, right?
Yeah, but that's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Because the other benefit is that it will show cheering thresholds in my personal profile and improve my standing with Twitch, theoretically, on a future potential partnership application.
Right.
In a way that PayPal donations do not.
But
because it's not information that's immediately visible to Twitch.
Where was I previously? Was I in the grave entrance? No.
The cheer cut is actually, we get everything. The cut comes when you buy bits. So I think the bit conversion rate is $1.40 for 100 bits. And then if you give me 100 bits, I get $1. So you basically paid $1.40 to give me $1, right? That's the other thing that I'd want to do, is account for the fact that bits cost more than what they pay out to me, and include that in the steer point calculation. Even though you're not actually getting steer points.
Yeah. So I thought the point of getting a Twitch partnership was to get the subscribe button, but you already have
Not
that.
only that, yeah, I put a thread out about affiliate versus partner. Partner is still better than affiliate.
What do you get? Unless I should just go read the thread.
I'm not at $100 yet, Chaos. I'm at like 97 or something. Let me look at the affiliate post 1 second. You might be right. It might be taxing you again.
Not that Twitch would ever do that.
Basically what I'm saying though is that I am willing to personally accept the cut. I know it's a psychological thing, like, am I being charged to donate to Marstead? But I would rather people donate less to me and do it with bits, less whatever the conversion rate is, and I'm essentially paying that tax to Twitch to improve future partnership applications.
Right. I was just wondering why the partnership application is worth that much to you. Because last time we talked, the partnership got you the subscribe button, which was cool. And I guess credibility when like going to events or something, or
No, no kidding. Sorry.
and we assume that the way they're acting with bits is some weird tax things and not creating a virtual currency.
I think that they're very careful in saying that bits have no value, even though clearly they don't. And a lot of their protections are really built to try to prevent things like the Counter-Strike Go skin gambling problem.
That's fair enough. Well, and that's been
you're right. Sorry, go ahead.
That's been such a pain in the ass for Valve that I can see a company definitely wanting not to have that be an issue.
Yeah, because like if 0 points could be used to, I don't know, win games, right? Then that could be gambling. Oh, jeez, thank you, Chaos. Appreciate that. You can give 500 bits.
Oh, cool.
You can turn your badge off if you want to, too. I know you were worried about that. Glad they finally added that feature. Thanks, man. If you stream a little bit more frequently, Bruski, you probably get affiliate. You need, what, like 11 more followers?
Really? I thought I needed a ton more followers because I like
No.
my concurrent viewers is it's like 7 usually, but my followers is nothing.
You need 50 followers and 3 average concurrent viewers. It's very mild. In fact, some people in the middle, like in my stage, are kind of annoyed by the affiliate requirements being so low.
Because literally anybody can get in.
Kodiak. Yeah, it's kind of a nice, just like, this is just a quick sanity check jump over somebody who's
like
has
zero
viewers all the time. Yeah.
Frack.
Stop killing the invader, though.
I did, and the invader doesn't come back. But some message said there was an invader, then a bonfire, and I was hoping to get to the bonfire.
Is there a reason you're backtracking instead of going to the new bonfire with the poison?
Because I'm dumb.
Okay. Fair enough.
I also
Chaos, you're correct.
don't know
It looks
where.
like I pay a 3% fee, which is not. It's waived for partners.
How do they justify that fee? Like maybe it's because they're cutting such small checks or something? I don't even know.
I'm sure that they're paying a transaction fee, I guess. Yeah, Sornus nailed it. So, priority support from Twitch. I'll actually have someone that I can reach out to if there's an issue on the Twitch end.
You get higher subscription tiers? Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have subscription tiers as an affiliate. Once the button becomes available, it'll only be $5.
Although, shit. That's true, not even. Very true. What was I thinking?
You can disable those not even if you.
They're still taking a 50% cut of those subs, right?
No.
Okay.
They take $250. Yeah.
Oh, so if somebody subscribes for $30, they take $250?
Yeah, and then they take some percentage, but it's not as severe.
Okay. I was gonna say I can't picture anything being worth giving up $15 of a $30 sub.
Yeah. I would probably have 6 emote slots as soon as that goes live on the current trend of subscribers.
As
which is
opposed to
kinda crazy.
1.
Yeah, 1.
Okay.
Transcoding would be guaranteed. It already effectively is. You have it right now, but
Yeah.
just not having to worry about that ever would be nice. Yeah, exactly, Sornus. Not even, I think it's in your user settings. Not that the robot version is much better.
Yeah, it's somewhat better. I agree, not much though.
Yeah, it looks like you were able to disable chaos. Nice.
No, I was so close to getting out. I'm gonna be really surprised if I get out of here without dying at least a couple times to poison. Although I might be paying more attention to it. Can I,
There you go. This zone will teach you.
can I get poison resist anything?
Yes. You can check all your gear.
Okay. Okay, so let's...
Probably sprint through poison areas though until it builds up.
The poison is the green droplet.
Yeah. This is the PC version, Harbinger. That's correct.
Yep, PC version with Xbox 360 controller. Okay. Now that I've got some poison resist up, let's try a little more grab all the loot. There we go. No, run, 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 run. So close. Oh, Chaos, what did you want to do with our new merchant? Our new importer of useful stones and evil capitalism. Okay, I think
I brought up the bits thing because I sent the situation to a couple of my physicist friends from Columbus, and they're working on it. They sent me a reply. One of them was like, well, here's one thing, and they like accidentally inverted signs, like they said A over B instead of B over A. And then you may have met Deidrearch, or
Yeah.
not in real life, but in Twitch chat.
Yeah, I've seen him
He
around.
replies that if you allow Dr. Jai to step in real quick, I've done some studies and run a few analyses on the supercomputer. Preliminary results are suggesting that your answer is wrong. Let's see if I can put a few grad students on this to confirm. And the enemy native was like, yeah, I flipped the sign. Thanks. That's what it's like.
That is true, Chaos. She is doing good, but is tainted by her trading stones for filthy lucre. Okay, I've got those. Is that an enemy? He hasn't aggroed on me yet. Still hasn't aggroed. Right, because I needed the stones to upgrade the Sickle of the Motherland. This was a very, very worthy cause. Okay, let's try... Ow! Holy cow.
Yeah, that guy throws dark magic at your face.
It looked like he just smashed me with his hand.
He threw a projectile, but you were right in front of him.
Okay. I think that might be a good question. Her prices did seem very reasonable. Perhaps she is just doing it so that she can keep up a supply of stones. Why is my poison going up? I'm just sitting here. Is it because it's draining off my body? Okay. One punch is very apt, sir. Do I have any ranged weapons? Come on. Come on, out of the poison. Don't want to... Holy shit! I see what you mean. That was a giant ball of dark magic. Got it.
Hammer and sickle actually working now. Very exciting.
Almost died to poison. Yeah, it's
Great
got a
force.
really long attack animation, but it hits so hard.
I think L2 is probably a shorter animation for more damage.
A shorter animation?
Yeah, it's just a single attack.
Oh, it
Instead of
is.
swinging both of them.
I would have thought it would have been bigger.
L1 is basically just like pressing R1, except you're swinging twice in a row.
Okay.
And L2 is doing a custom your hand swing.
Ow. Getting trapped is bad.
Seems very reasonable, Chaos.
Then she shall be spared, but if she ever tries to charge you too much, and it becomes clear she has lost her way, a price other than lucre must be paid. The iron price. The red price.
Type price.
That seems fair, Chaos.
You got a Titanite chunk there. I think you need one more to upgrade the sickle another step.
Yep.
Just keep an eye out.
Or the hammer. I think the sickle and the hammer are at the same
Oh, that's
point.
nice.
7 and 7. Yep. Okay, so I think I've gotten most of the loot out of here. I could... Well, I want to get my souls back.
You've had very good souls.
Oh. Rope, perhaps? Did you just get a whole new bunch of emotes, Nodovan? Is that what I'm seeing? Okay.
9 looks like.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay. Now we sit here waiting for the poison to come off. Dooba-dooba-doo-boo, boo-boo. Okay. let's try. I guess maybe I'll just... Ow. This really is not going well. Because I'm being an idiot. How has the stream been? I have actually left my Chrome tabs open because I think that all the times that I had issues with that were because of the actual connection. Has it been spotty or flaky at all?
We had a little bit of drop frames early on, but it's been fine now.
Okay.
Did you get someone to check out the connection?
No, not yet. I was wondering what the magic words for that were. I forgot to ask you for them.
Good luck with magic words.
Oh, I thought you had magic words.
I mean, sort of, but...
Sort of, but not really.
I mean, I managed to... That's one of the benefits of business so far, is like I called... You should back up really quick and check out those skeletons against the wall.
Huh? Okay, I will...
Next time you die, I'll
do that.
It's on your path into the poison area.
Okay.
I called business and I was like, hey, I just wanted to see if my router was in a walled garden state, which is a thing that they can do, where it's kind of like when you go to a hotel and it makes you log in before you can use it. And then she was just like, yep, I know what that is. Let me look that up. And I was like, oh my god.
That's amazing.
That was 6 transfers, probably a disconnect in there, a callback.
Hey Felthorn, how's it going? Just killing skeletons today. And trying not to get poisoned. As it does. Wheel. I don't want a wheel. Is there anything down in here? Oh, there's a passage. Okay, let's see if... Oh, there's a chest down here. And I'm gonna get poisoned. Please tell me it's worth it. Fire Seed and Divine Blessing. What are those?
Fire Seed upgrades a Pyromancy Flame, Divine Blessing is a full heal.
Oh, sweet.
What's up, Felthorn?
Yeah. Still being poisoned. More heals. Hey, more heals. Okay. Back up here, got that chest. Oh, right, and I actually, if I get some souls, I'll have enough to upgrade. So I could try murdering this thing. There we go. No! Why? Why do I fail? Okay.
I don't know if that counts as more dots or not.
I mean, I knew I was being poisoned.
Okay.
It was more the creepy things that lie on the ground that were a problem. So what skeletons am I looking at?
There's a skeleton that's up against the wall. There's a pretty famous message that usually goes on there, and it says something like "keep listening" or "try listening, skeleton."
He does seem to be listening really hard. Poor guy.
I'm sad there's not the message there now.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 is definitely the most meme-tastic when it comes to the messaging system.
Is it just because the message system is more wide open?
There's more options and there's more little things all over the game, like, you know, small little alcoves that you can't fit into. It'll be like dwarf required a head or beanpole required a head for thin ones.
Even then 3?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
It's just mostly messages. You saw the horse. It was the boss that Bruski beat.
That wasn't fair. I was healing. You can call that a more dots, because I should have healed earlier.
Yeah, it probably should run through the poison and wait for it to pass where you run through the next poison.
Oh, I'm glad 6 Gun. How is it? Super fun as usual. Man, the Surge is out. I really want to try that. It'll be a while till I beat Dark Souls 2, though. But I've heard some...
Did it feel good, 6 Gun, or did it feel relieving?
Wait, where am... Oh, okay, I'm over here.
That's awesome. You got good. Yeah, I've heard the Surge is okay. I'm still waiting for like the critically acclaimed, everybody's giving it a 10 out of 10 Souls-like game.
Salt and Sanctuary, or does that not count as Souls-like enough? We're not
Still hear some
critically.
complaints about Salt and Sanctuary.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's good. I played an hour of it and I enjoyed it. We're leaving.
Yes, exactly. Not even. I think it'll be interesting because a lot of the reviews I've seen have either been meh or this is amazing. So I'm hoping that I'll play it and fall on the this is amazing side. The most disappointing thing I think I've heard is that while it's got cool atmosphere and some varied stuff and a decent story, it's got like 5 or 6 bosses, and the boss fights are the worst part of the entire game. And I'm like, that sucks.
For a Souls-like game.
Yeah. But apparently, like, the weapon systems and crafting systems are all really good, and the combat is pretty good. The weapon variety is huge. I think there might be...
I like the dismemberment thing, right?
Yeah.
You do that with almost everything.
Ow.
It sounds like the trash in that game is more interesting, maybe. What's the trade-off? I mean,
Yep.
the trash in Dark Souls is interesting, too. But...
Some of it. I mean, like, your average skeleton isn't, but these guys who throw fireballs are. Yeah, I was saying, I think they have fewer ranged weapon options than Dark Souls does. Like, they have almost no range weapons at all. So you have to go melee. But even within that, they find a bunch of different styles of melee weapons, which sounds neat. Ow,
I have
my face.
the Surge on my short list on the wish list document.
Ow, my face. Short list of what?
My wish list document of games I want to do on stream that aren't on the voting spreadsheet yet.
Oh, nice. Is that going to be a new tab or something, or?
It's tasks.marsted.com.
Oh, cool.
Neo as well. I hear Neo is still pretty decent.
Yeah, that would be one that I guess that was pretty critically acclaimed, I thought. Maybe not as much as Dark Souls is, but I'm not sure anything can be because Dark Souls already came out.
Yeah. I'd like to see FromSoft do a sci-fi Souls game. I feel like that's
Yes.
the correct evolution after Bloodborne.
Trying to think of what other atmospheres you could do. Like, I guess you could do...
You do everything.
Right, but some of them won't be that different. So, like, Dark Souls Primal might not be that different from just standard Dark Souls. Like, are you going to do...
Dark Souls Primal is Monster Hunter.
Right. What other things would you do besides sci-fi?
You gotta do the parody. You gotta be parody Souls. That's like everything's rainbows and sunshine and unicorns and teddy bears.
So
It's just as hard.
FromSoft isn't going to do that, I assume.
Yeah, right. Wild West.
Wild West could be... Oh, that would be sweet. Although I wonder how much would that overlap with Bloodborne.
Bloodborne's more like Victorian Cthulhu.
Right, so that feels slightly different, but doesn't it have a lot of the same weapons that you would have in the Old West?
Maybe.
Ow,
You have
my
to
face.
have mostly focused on melee. Like Bloodborne, you have lots of guns, blunderbusses, and rifles and stuff, but you only use them for parrying. Like they're not
For
like a ranged style of play.
you use them for parrying?
Yeah.
You have a blunderbuss that you use for parrying.
Yep. So an enemy will enter into an attack animation, and you shoot them in the face while they're in the middle of it, and it staggers them, and then you can do a visceral
Okay.
attack to kill them. It's kind of a cool system.
Tongue required ahead, therefore weakness whole.
Modern day Street Ball. Double Dragon Souls. River City Ransom Souls.
I grant that Western versus Gothic 6 gun. I was just wondering because a lot of games that go to an era of weapons don't stick strictly within that era. Like Does Bloodborne not have 6 shooters and lever action? Because a lot of games pull from like 50 to 100 years before or ahead of the time they go to.
I'm pretty stoked for it too, Sornus. I'm almost done with the Monster Hunter review. I'm going to run a little bit late on that because the survey ended up being like 22,000 words. Let's do that as a video next time, maybe. But it's like 80% done.
Whoo! That's like 2 new bonfires today and a boss.
Yeah, this has been progress.
We've got about another 20 minutes.
Me too.
What's today? Half-Life 2 is tomorrow, right? Yeah.
I would play a Super Mario Souls game. Oh, I'm pretty positive about it, Sorns.
Woohoo!
My big thing with Monster Hunter is that I want them to change so much about it, and I would love the game way more. Like, it's not necessarily that it's bad, it's just for my personal playstyle.
Oh gosh. Everywhere is poison, poison. Try torch? Why would a torch help?
I would love that 6-gun, because Westerns have that sort of like bleak, nothing matters.
Yeah, a
kind of
bleak
feel to them.
western would be amazing. And I agree that that would fit in very well with Dark Souls feel.
Oh, that'd be the tits chaos.
Oh, hi. How are you? Oh, shit, there are 2 of you. And I'm stuck. 3 of
I
them.
feel like if Castlevania hadn't
I
have
can't
died,
even
that
get back
Konami
up.
almost certainly would have gone in that direction. I'm surprised you're surviving as long as you are through this.
Yeah, I have no clue why I'm not dead.
Yeah, I would love it. That's another thing I think is important about Dark Souls and Bloodborne is that, like, yeah, you're killing these things, but why? Because you need to. Because that's the thing that you can do.
Hard West. Okay. I'll add that to my wish list, Sornus. That sounds cool. Yeah, you could get a real... I don't know. You could have the same sort of purpose to impose order, but the same sort of bleakness that it's just not possible. What the... fucking McFucker faces.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. I fucking hate those things with certain weapons.
Yeah. East of West. I have a... Let's see. East of West. Making a note. The first dungeon master I ever played under, he's a great guy, and he's currently running a Weird West game in whatever Savage Worlds does. What's the Savage Worlds Weird West? I can't remember what the name of it is, but I'm really sad that the time zones didn't work out because I really wanted to play in it with him. And Weird West is just an awesome setting. And I'd love to do like a game sometime set in like Santa Fe, New Mexico Weird West, like doing a local game and you could use actual old maps and stuff. There we go. Got another one.
Kind of just running down my list of games to find other settings where a Souls game could work.
I think it's more limited. Like, you can say any setting, but like modern military shooter, I don't... Or even just like modern. Like, if you wanted to do modern, how would you do a Souls game?
No, I agree with Chaos that you could do it as like a street brawler. That would be kind of cool. Like almost borderline Double Dragon, you know, no guns.
I don't know Double Dragon.
No reason.
I'm so lost. I'm so lost.
Didn't see any of those give you chunks.
Deadlands. Deadlands is the name of the Savage Worlds setting.
I think they want you to have a torch down here because it lets you see through the mist.
Yeah.
That's the message.
I need to go find a way to light it.
Bonfire.
Yep. Double dragon. Double dragon. Presumably
one of
it's a
my-
game. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Side-scrolling brawler. You probably played a game like it before. Brawlers are more arcade console, though I can't think of too many PC native side-scrolling brawlers.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sornus, but it's now best known as a Savage Worlds setting. At least it might be. That's the only way I've seen it in a while. Okay, I have torch.
I think someone finding out a way to make a primarily ranged combat focused Souls game would be like that's a jewel prize to try to attain. I don't know how you would do it, but you play a game like
okay.
XCOM, which is a traditional tactical RPG, except it's all ranged combat.
Right.
And it works great because of the systems they built into it.
Yeah, if they could do that, I would play the heck out of that because I love ranged combat.
You got all the items down there. No reason to go back down there.
The Savage Worlds dealing cards for initiative mechanic is wonderful because it adds a nice amount of flavor and it's so much faster than rolling dice and comparing numbers. That was a .1. I noticed it, but I should have healed sooner. So it should probably count. I rolled the... Oop, I forgot to light my torch.
Yeah, I could hear that 6-gun.
I've wanted to play Stalker for a while, but haven't. It's
Cool.
real time, right? It doesn't have like a VAT system or anything.
Yeah, totally real time.
Okay.
It has some military simulation in the sense that like bullets have drop off and
Dang.
aren't perfectly accurate to where your crosshairs are.
Yeah. Okay, so need to accept the fact that I will just get poisoned down here.
Don't think you have any reason to go down there anymore. You got all the
Oh,
items.
is that it? I thought there would be more. Okay, well maybe there's another one that I missed, because there was a bigger passage thing. Oh my gosh, no, don't die. Don't die. Drink, 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 drink.
I like slots as a mechanics harness. Slots and cards. My house rule 4E is very card focused.
Nice.
It converts almost everything into a consumable card.
Okay. I did discover another place down here. Oh, I could have gone there without getting poisoned, though.
Simpleton Spice is a cool item. It reduces the stat requirement to use a specific spell scroll by 1, either for intelligence or faith, depending on what version of the spice that you find. So if you're really close and don't want to spend the stat points on intelligence or faith, you can use that.
That's neat. I can see that 6-gun, and especially for Powered by the Apocalypse games. But in any game where you want maybe some more crunch than the Powered by the Apocalypse, or you want to be able to have a character that like is built around doing things really fast or always being the first on the initiative, I think that would be harder to do.
I like to see an actual survival horror Souls game. The cool thing with Souls and Bloodborne is they have this kind of like light horror theme,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm never like actually afraid playing them. Like, oh geez, that's creepy. But outside of things like sneaking up on you occasionally and giving you a jump scare, it doesn't have that Silent Hill dread.
Is
I
that-
guess you have to be careful because it's always those games are about you can't win, you should probably just run.
Right.
And Souls is about winning eventually against things that look like they should be unbeatable.
And Souls is all about combat.
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying that it definitely works for the Powered by the Apocalypse games to do something like that, Six Gun. But if you had a game where you wanted more crunch, or somebody wanted to build a character around being like a quick shooter, always being first on the action, I think you would need to move to something else. But Powered by the Apocalypse games are kind of like the opposite of crunch. This place is brutal, and I'm getting lost. It's interesting, though. I'm not running out of places to go.
Yeah, this is where I got fairly badly punished for not having put any points into health.
I can see that. Okay. How would you do that, then, Six Gun? Have you ever played a Powered by the Apocalypse game, Marsted?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. They're RPGs that are very flavor-centric. They usually only use 2d6. The dice rolls are very simple. You might have 4 stats total. And frequently, like, the rules for a game setting are entirely designed around a specific encounter or something like that. Like, there's one
Sure.
Powered by the Apocalypse game called Night Witches, and it's all about the Night Witches, who were female Soviet bomber pilots in World War II. And so all the rules are based around that, and you wouldn't use it to play anything else.
No, that makes sense. Sometimes you think about like all these rules in a typical RPG setting that aren't ever going to be relevant in your campaign.
Yeah, there was a cool one I played at the New Mexicon convention, which was Velvet Glove, and it was you're like a colored female teenage street gang in the 70s and 80s. You're basically a character in an exploitation movie, and seeing how much it sucks or is interesting and fun to be there. But that was actually a really cool game and a neat experience, because for like a large male, it was only in a game that I was ever able to have like something close to the like, oh, this is how a young female would feel when taken like behind a shed by the gym teacher. Holy shit, that's scary and terrifying. And like intellectually I knew that before, but having it happen in the game had much more power. It was really good, Six Gun. I actually, the game was run for me by the person who wrote it, and she ran it really, really well. I don't know if I could ever write it, because, like, I'm not sure you can have white 30s male run a game about colored female teens without it coming off really bad or awkward somehow. What's the watch? Okay, can I get above these guys? No. Where does this even go? Okay, this goes above somewhere.
Holy moly, my channel just got activated for vodcasting, is what they're calling it now, which is restreaming existing VODs and having chat synced to whatever is being shown.
That's cool.
That's really exciting.
Okay.
So I can get potential walk-ins again from my old Dark Souls videos, even when we're going to play Dark Souls again.
Do you schedule those or something?
Apparently, it just noticed it in my dashboard, and I'll probably just run those every morning then while I'm working on stream stuff and hang out and chat.
Interesting. I just looked that up, Six Gun. That sounds really cool. It reminds me a bit of maybe a much more serious take of Terry Pratchett's Monstrous Regiment, if you ever read that.
Soreness by crunch, do you mean like rules?
Yeah,
I like rules.
crunch in RPGs is generally rules, details, like D&D, especially 4E, would be considered very crunch heavy.
Crunchiest.
And Savage Worlds is like less crunchy than D&D. Pathfinder would also be high crunch. Fate, a game where you roll dice that have symbols on them, would be like dirty hippie game, anti-crunchy.
Yeah. It's the sitting around in beanbag chairs and no dice. It's mushy.
Yeah. And Powered by the Apocalypse is much more on the less crunch side, but it still has some. It still has dice rolls. You roll your 2d6. But like in that Velvet Glove game where we played for 4 hours, 4 people, we maybe had 15 dice rolls, maybe 12. Like they came at really big narrative points.
Terry Pratchett's a pretty good cast. I haven't read very much, but he's a funny guy.
I've heard the name Eclipse Phase, but I can't remember anything specific about it, Six Gun.
This is the science fiction setting that Leon really likes, where, and it's a really cool setting, but basically it's science fiction and it's really trivial to transfer, copy, and fork consciousnesses. So you can store your brain in a computer, you can put it in a octopus body, you can make a fork of your consciousness that goes into something else. And the idea is that it's still very difficult to travel conventionally between planets, but we can send data at the speed of light. So if you wanted to go from Jupiter to Mars, instead of flying there, you would just download your brain into a computer, send it over the galactic extranet to Mars, and then download it into a new body there. So there's a lot of cool GM scenarios for it.
That sounds really neat, if insane. And it's super crunchy, it sounds like. All the rules and stuff.
It's cool to have a game where death is such an interesting thing that so many people are afraid of doing, but it's very likely that you will, kill off your entire team because you know that they have saved data backups of their brains somewhere.
Right. It's like a video game.
Yeah.
That's very strange, but cool. Okay, what happens if I just run through this stupid place?
Yeah, that's the level of crunch that I'm not a fan of. I think that if it's annoying to track and doesn't create fun, it probably shouldn't be tracked. Most of your entire setting is built around tracking, in which case it should probably be fun.
Yeah. I think that's Fatal. Fatal tracks all those things. Along with, other anatomically explicit things. Roll for sphincter diameter.
Seems necessary. I'm sure that'll come up.
Oh, in Fatal, it very well might. From what I've heard, I've never played it, but all the third-hand accounts are kind of terrifying. Okay.
I think you could pull off a pulpy adventure.
I got another simple pulpy adventure souls.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have the bleak, because I don't think that's necessarily necessary for a Souls game.
Really?
You can have those mechanics. Yeah, I think you could make an Indiana Jones style Souls game where you're overcoming impossible odds.
Yeah, I just feel that so much of Souls is that you die again and again and again and are crushed. And a lot of what Indiana Jones is you make some harebrained attempt to kill the giant boss and it works the first time because you're Indiana Jones.
I think you could pull it off. It would have to be an interesting approach, but you'd have to have that flavor where when your character dies, you don't really die. He escapes by the skin of his teeth to try again or something.
Yeah, because if you did actual death, I don't see how you'd explain that and or
You could do it with a bit of satire and have it be like,
Yeah.
once you beat the game, it shows you a playback of the world line where you never died once. Because that would look like a pulpy adventure movie.
yeah.
Everything happens to be perfect on the first pass. It would probably be much shorter than the whole playthrough.
Yeah, and then you could watch it. Yeah, I personally like not quite as much as like D&D, especially 4, maybe 5. I really like the Savage Worlds level of crunch soreness, or even Powered by the Apocalypse games. I really don't mind that. I'm not sure I'd want to do a Powered by the Apocalypse campaign. I really liked L5R, Legend of the Five Rings. I guess that had a decent amount of crunch.
Isn't that also a card game?
Legend of the Five Rings is primarily a collectible card game that has an amazing RPG built on it that is probably being ignored now, but 4th edition was really good, so who cares? I would love to play that with you guys sometime. That actually might be good. So it's set in Rokugan, which is fantasy Japan. And you might know more about all of that than me, since I haven't played every JRPG forever. And that might be interesting.
I don't know if I like being in a position of authority. And
Well, you're stuck there now.
sucks to be me. No, 6-gun.net is exactly what I was getting at. That I think that if you pulled off some kind of cool framing narrative with like a radio play narrator, that would be fantastic. I think you could do it. It wouldn't work as just like copy and paste, you know, whole 20s adventure stuff.
Yeah, I don't see how you do it with the repeated dying. There might be some cool way of doing it, I just don't see it yet.
I think you'd have to have a flavor element like you have with Dungeons and Dragons now, where hit points aren't like physical damage anymore.
Right.
Like you can recover someone's hit points by cheering them on. You would treat death as something different than your character physically falls over and respawns or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of 7th Sea soreness. They actually did a 7th Sea LARP at the con I was at. I was doing a different game in that slot. But it sounds neat. I really love the Legend of the Five Rings flavor, though. Like, especially since in Legend of the Five Rings, you're usually all playing samurai. So you're all playing, essentially, Japanese paladins. Because you're limited more by what honor demands of you than anything else. And the way to make the game good is to take, like, the 7 principles of Bushido code and play them off each other, so that the players and party constantly have to make choices about, like, do we value loyalty or honor more? Which is more important, compassion or justice? And it's always conflicting. There's no clear answer. It's like, well, our Lord ordered us to do this, but it's the exact opposite of having compassion. So do we obey our Lord or do we kill the peasants? Which is my favorite part of games, is like when the party is arguing about what's the right thing to do. Okay. Sadly, I have to go. I don't know that I've made a ton of progress in this area, but I've at least got a little bit of a map in it in my mind, and I've picked up
Hopefully you don't
80
revisit all
pieces
these
of
areas
loot.
looking for items, because I think you have all the items you're going to get.
I think you're about right.
I would next session look at how many souls you need to level up and like try to start going back whenever you have that number, because you haven't leveled up in hours.
So
Not at all during this session, for example.
it's like 8,000. It's getting pretty
It's in the
high.
status menu.
I'll check it out. Travel. Majula.
Later, dude.
See ya. Where is stupid levelly up person? Stupid levelly up
You can
person.
see it in the status menu too.
Oh. 7,866.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Very good.
Cool. Thanks so much. I will talk to you later.
See ya.
See you guys. Check out Dylan's stream. I'll host him in just a minute. I think most of you are familiar with that anyways.